As I'm sitting here filming this, the Global Sumud Flotilla is live streaming its illegal interception by the Israeli government. And the Canadian government just got back to me about what it's doing, or rather not doing, for its citizens on board of these vessels. First, here's a little peek at what the live stream looks like. For Israel's interception of this flotilla to be legal under international law, its blockade has to be legal. And for that, it must not stop the delivery of humanitarian aid to civilians. That means Israel's blockade of Gaza is clearly illegal. It is depriving Palestinians of humanitarian aid to the point that the population in Gaza is starving to death. And that is just a part of Israel's ruthless campaign of what a UN commission has found to be genocide. I reached out to Prime Minister Mark Carney's office and they didn't even acknowledge my email. I reached out to Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand's office and they wouldn't give me a comment themselves, instead deferring to the public service at Global Affairs Canada. That is where I finally got an answer, not from the decision makers, but from the nonpartisan public service, which to me is quite cowardly of the government. Anyway, here is what Global Affairs Canada had to say. Quote, "The government of Canada is not able to guarantee the safety of Canadian travelers or to provide them with security and protection abroad. The decision to travel is personal and individuals are responsible for their own safety abroad. Global Affairs Canada advises Canadians to avoid all travel to Palestine due to the ongoing military operations in the Gaza Strip and the unpredictable security situation in the West Bank." It goes on to say, quote, "While the government of Canada has no plans to accompany the flotilla, this does not in any way detract from Canada's position that humanitarian assistance into Gaza must be immediately scaled up to address the catastrophic humanitarian situation." You mean Israel's man-made famine? "We continue to urge Israel to allow the immediate entry of UN-coordinated humanitarian assistance via land crossings into and throughout Gaza. Since October 2023, Canada has committed more than $400 million in international assistance in response to the current crises in Palestine." So yeah, a whole lot of nothing. I'm glad we've sent international assistance, but we aren't doing anything to pressure Israel to actually let that assistance in. Canadian physician Yipeng Ji, who has been on the ground in Gaza during this genocide and previously accompanied one of these flotillas for part of its journey, told me, quote, "The Canadian government has an obligation under international law to punish and prevent genocide. Canada has failed to do both. Canada is obligated to cut ties with Israel because of ICJ rulings on illegal occupation and genocide. Canada is required to put an arms embargo on Israel, implement sanctions, and reevaluate its trade agreements and prosecute Canadian institutions and individuals involved in committing war crimes. Canada is responsible for sending in humanitarian aid and not letting Israel maintain an illegal siege and blockade, and instead it is everyday volunteers, including Canadian citizens, who are doing the work of states and governments. All eyes on the flotilla and all eyes on Gaza." What do you think of all this?